All right. Hello, hello. Hello, everybody. Welcome to a new live stream, our third session so far. Today, we're going to be drawing. We're going to be drawing a lot of different poses, some poses that we haven't done yet. Thank you for joining this time. Thank you for joining the chat, tagging along. Thank you for hanging. And yeah, like as you can see, I already started doing a little bit of warm-ups, or just drawing a little bit to get started before the stream. The first stream that I did, I was not completely warm up, and I mean it was okay because at the end ended up doing the whole thing. It's like I never did a warm up for that one, but today I did just a little bit of like whatever just comes, right? And today, like the other day, we're gonna be doing some live drawings between 5 to 10 minutes, and we're gonna be focusing on gesture and construction a little bit, and whatever techniques and tips that I throw along the way. I would like to thank you all first again for checking the previous stream. I know you guys have been practicing too. I receive a lot of like messages from you all on how you guys are enjoying these streams, that you're practicing, that you feel motivated, that you are getting like inspiration to do some drawings, that you have learned a lot only with those streams and with all the stuff that I suggested. And I'm happy for that. I also want to let you know that on the description you can find my Pinterest. There I created a board for the photos that we're gonna be using today. That one is not already published. I already have some poses there, but as soon as I finish this, I'm gonna be taking the ones that are selected because it's gonna be random, and I'm gonna put them together in on that Pinterest. So the link is on the description, as well as where you can find the brush that I'm using for on Procreate. Okay, so make sure to check that page because I receive a lot of questions like where can I find the reference and all of that. So I want you guys to join that Pinterest and follow whatever you want. But the board is gonna be there, so you can check the images because you guys have been asking for it, and I think it's a good way if you guys want to practice on your own apart from like watching the video. But I suggest you watching the video because I'm explaining how to go through the whole process, right? And but I'm really happy about it. Also, on other news, I was planning to do a live stream of just drawing heads or well faces, basically faces, and I wanted to do that for the future live streams because I know you guys also will get a lot of knowledge from this. And so I thought about this and also thought about other challenges for other kinds. So if you have any ideas you want to like if you have any ideas do you want to like throw this way for future streams, and I'm open, so you guys can send message, leave the comments after the stream, and I'm always checking the comments. So just leave the message there. I will reply. I reply after the stream to all the questions and comments and everything. And also, as a other thing to remind you guys is that the other videos have already they have like timestamps, so you can jump to the poses that you want to practice, and everything is broken down. It's broken down into sections, so you guys can like browse whatever pose you guys want to check. And also I added timestamps to the timeline, but I added it to the tutorials. So something that I that was missing there, I add that to the tutorials. So if you go and check the tutorials, you will see that there's a timeline, and then you can go and select the parts of the video, so you know what is the content of each of the tutorials, which is something is hard to like know what is inside the tutorial. Well, all the timeline you don't even know what is the beginning or whatever. So I'm working on the rest of the tutorials, but you guys can check those after this. And yeah, I'm working on the descriptions and updating everything so you guys can find easier the browsing my channel and finding the content and practicing and doing all of that stuff. So yeah, and I want to remind you because I get the questions a lot. I'm also streaming on Twitch during the week and YouTube during the weekend. So tomorrow, might have another stream depending on how things go. But on Twitch, especially Wednesdays, I don't know how to write Wednesday. Well, I know Wednesday, around 7 p.m. or something like that. I'm streaming, and over there we're building the new sketchbook. I'm doing a new sketchbook, so I'm working and then drawing and chilling and all that stuff. So you guys also can check the Twitch. My Twitch, the link is on the description. Okay, so that's all. That's all the information for this intro for this part. So let's get into it. You guys are ready. You guys have your tools out there, everything. I'm gonna create a new layer, and let's do some cubes, some warm-ups, just in case you guys haven't done this. And like I said on my previous video, you know, the first chunk of the session is always, you know, you're rusty, you're not used to like the drawing, you're not used to the material, so it's good to get familiar with the material. Maybe take a page from your sketchbook and just do some lines, like get that synchronization of your brain and your hand connecting, so when you draw, your lines are more precise and they have like more rhythm, and they are more, you know, you get like a pre warm up to the warm up basically. um, I always find like when I do my first warm ups, they, or whatever drawings I'm doing, there it's just random stuff that I draw, but I don't mind if they're not like working, or they're not like perfect or precise or whatever, because I'm kind of like fine tuning, like my drawing, right? Yeah, after doing a couple of these, then I'm gonna be able to like, you know, start getting into the zone, and then my drawing is gonna be more accurate. So don't feel like because you're starting and your drawing is getting is not looking as you want, don't get frustrated. It's gonna be a journey, and probably after like we finish doing all these poses, you guys are gonna be warm up, and you're gonna have fun, and you're gonna feel like you accomplished something, and you have learned also a few things. So that's kind of like the point, right? And so we're gonna start. Doing some of the poses, and I'm gonna bring the poses. I'm gonna delete these, and let's bring the first pose. Let's see what comes. Depending on what I see, I'll think like keep that one or just move to another one. Okay. So start. Hajimemashou, minasan. Well, okay. Well, let's start with this one. This one is good. Standing pose is a great one to start the session. You know, standing up is a good one because we can work on proportions, to warming up the proportions that we use. So I'm gonna start by, you know, adding the face, adding the head. Let's go with the head. Let's start seeing the how the body is standing there. You know, we can like extend that gesture of the jaw, of the torso there, or the back. Again, when we have a stretched torso for one side, like the other side can have a little bit of a pinch, and we can start in the head and then the torso. You know, measuring a little bit. Don't worry if the drawing is not coming good. Like, don't worry about that. Just try to go with the flow of this. You know, look at the legs and see how far can you bring them here, right? Just make sure you add your landmarks when you're drawing. Like landmarks is like adding a little bit of a mark just to see where are the proportions, right? If the proportions are looking right, or at least an estimate, no? Because sometimes like if we draw and we don't compare a little bit, our proportions are gonna be a little bit off, and we might end up having like a shorter legs or a shorter arms. And it's good to, you know, even after you have done the drawing, you can come back and work on the proportion. Maybe like a stretch. If it's digital, you can stretch that, or well, if it's traditional, well, you're gonna have to erase. Or you can scan that, and then on the computer you can change the proportions, and you know, as long as you correct yourself, as you notice those proportions, then you'll get used to correcting that to yourself, right? You're gonna be like, you know, oh, I think my arm is a little bit big, or too long, or too short. It happens to me. My arms sometimes get short, and I don't realize. And that could be that happens plenty of times. So. And yeah, especially proportions. I remember I have one of my illustrations I did many years ago. I was not well aware of the proportions, and I knew something was wrong on my drawing. And after years of looking at at drawing and doing things and practicing and all that, when I went back, I just realized like I missed like the whole torso. Like I mean, like I didn't draw the torso completely, so I was missing like a big chunk of her body. Um, okay, so for the face, don't worry too much about it. I don't think I'm ready for drawing like that face right now or being too detailed on it. But as long as we get that kind of nice gesture there, don't forget to add the feet too. Don't neglect that. Don't neglect that. It happens a lot. At least leave a mark. Do some drawing there, like of mark it there, like you did the effort. Like happens a lot during live drawings that people miss the feet, or they just don't draw the arm, the hand, or the fingers. Don't even they don't even go there. So let's try to push ourselves to add all the elements of what we see, and then we'll have a full figure, right? That would be the ideal, without without worrying too much about everything. But again, as, as long as we have this, it's good. We can check the silhouette of the drawing and see what I'm missing, or what I have, or what I don't have. The arm is very thick arm, but the silhouette is actually working pretty well. Probably maybe needs more a little bit here on the butt area. Leg, the calves are more engaged because of the she's lifting herself. Also the knee. Notice when you use the muscles of the leg, you get this mark from the muscles being activated, or being activated, right? And also here we can see the center line is very close to this side here, right? So then that's how we get more three-dimensionality, right, on our drawings. And I think my drawings are timed for like 10 minutes. So, I mean, it's not bad. It's not bad. We can start with a little bit of like 10 minutes, so we don't feel like we have to rush and we have to get it done, you know? So this one, 10 minutes. And also don't forget to add the clothes, especially this one, because her bathing suit is black, and that will help us to to add more form to the figure, because obviously the clothes fit to the contour of the body, so give us like more sense of like form, and that's good. And this is what I have for this one. Okay, and obviously we can, if you are working digital, we can reduce opacity and create a new layer later on, and then we can work on more specific parts that we want to like correct. We can add more like anatomy. We can like look more at the photo and see what are we missing from the first draft that we did, right? And we can build a better drawing, but only when you feel that you have all the information that you were looking for, right? When you have all that information going, and now it's about refining and breaking down a little bit more anatomy, refining things, adding lines that were missing, and adding all of those extra juicy lines that will make the drawing a little bit more complete, right? And I'm gonna be answering some of the questions of you guys at the end. I'm looking at the questions you guys have there, but I will answer some of the questions by the end, so we can focus on this. But I'm reading them, and if you follow this model, make sure to follow her. I haven't had the chance to add all the credits for all the photos and everything, because I just pick it as like, oh, this is a good one. Let's do this. So, right. And this character could be, you can change later the character to like She-Hulk or a superhero type, right? Maybe Captain Marvel or Power Girl, from DC. And then you have a nice structure and you have a nice drawing under it that is, feels solid and have a nice structure. Okay. You can add some extra elements of whatever. You can start having fun once you reach to that level, to this level during the process, right? You can start adding things that you would like and have fun. And again, if it's digital, then you have all that extra chance to edit your drawing later on. So yeah, this is when we add all the extra lines and make the drawing a little bit more complete, right? And this could go for longer, right? So let's see what happened with the images and here, because I think the image is going for longer, but let's see. Yeah, I know why. So it's 3000. There you go. I know this is 700, and this is 3 here. All right. Okay, so let's go with the next pose, right? I think this one is pretty nice. It has a lot of like lines, direction that could make it actually pretty fun to do, especially when we think in terms of not only like drawing the face and drawing the torso and going one by one, but the contrast of the background, and is helping us a lot to see this in a more of a graphic shape. And well, I explained this before, but according to the photo, you guys can like decide, do I want to approach this in terms of like silhouette, or start with the construction? Like, is this an easy pose for me to explore that way, or just only focusing on the negative space, which, well, I mean, will be the silhouette of it. And especially for these kind of poses, they can be hard, but it's good to like have that measurement between, like, thinking about the distance between her head and the knee. That's a good way to start like comparing. Also the high heel, where that heel like is landing, right? And you start like doing marks and start like thinking about like where those elements of our drawing of the drawing is landing here, right? When we see the photo, right? And you don't need to draw the leg, but you can draw the direction of the limbs, right? And that will also help us to have a better sense, no? I feel like this arm is reaching the floor, and from there is kind of like merging with the high heel. So I'm trying to group everything together, like I start comparing and making some lines to like kind of enclose this pose, right? And also remember, you guys can come back later and watch the video again and see the process of what I did. Or even maybe you don't want to try this approach, maybe you want to try the approach from the last picture and try to do it that way. So anyways, you guys feel like it's more comfortable, you can do through that. But this is how I will approach these poses, right? I leave for the last the arm. I think the arm is, because it's in front of us, I want to figure out the torso. I want to figure out what is behind the arm. I don't want to draw the arm first and then, I don't know, the torso is going like this way, and then you get like a line here but it's not flowing, and then you end up with a line here and it feels like it's not connected, and that happens a lot. We have to draw through the form, and then like things will connect eventually, right? So that's a good advice to take. You have to think about the form and think about that shape. Don't think about it just as a line. Think about something that exists in a three-dimensional space. So you're gonna start thinking more about that, and that will actually, as soon as you start thinking and doing in that approach, your drawing will have more dimension and more form, because you are not thinking about like just a line. It's thinking about how rounded, or how is it going around the corner, and then you're gonna create drawings that have more consistency, right? And then you can start adding the rest. Oh, well, thank you. Thank you for checking the video, guys. Thank you. I'm glad that you got recommended the channel. Thank you very much. And this heel, the high heels can be hard to draw, but if you see, if you try to see it as a shape, and you try to draw that shape as close as you can, then you'll start getting those difficult angles that can be challenging. It's can be challenging, and that's an area where some artists fail to draw heels, high heels, like properly. Um, and even me, even myself, I sometimes I draw them and I figure out like, oh shit, like it's actually like a little bit off here, or the heel is kind of like bending too much. Um, but it's good to think about it as a graphic shape, and also later like going and then try to give some form to it, right? Well, we have a different pose. Let's change to the next one. This one is fun, you know. This is a good way of constructing the figure. Later, I will come back and keep going on this, but now it's 5 minutes, so probably hurry. I should hurry myself. This one is hard. I tilted, so this is gonna be like extremely hard pose to draw. um, Actually, I'm gonna change that pose to another one. Sorry, guys. Okay, this is something more, again, it has a perspective, but it's also a graphic shape that we can use to, you know, make our drawings. So I'll start with the head, and then I'm gonna start bringing that line. Hope you guys can see also the line that goes from the head to the torso, to her torso here, the butt. Use the clothes to give form to your drawings, right? Also think about like how the closer elements to us, like her feet and her legs, they're gonna occupy more space, right? So the space here at the top is gonna be smaller, but the space at the bottom is gonna be probably double, and that will give us the effect that things are getting closer to us, right? That's a good way to like create that foreshortening by by comparing like the size from the torso up and from the torso down, and that will help us a lot to get that sensation or that feeling that there's some perspective going on. And it's good to have those measurements. Just doing that little bit of a measurement will help a lot, especially for the head too. The head is also good. It happens to me plenty of times that I do my drawing when it has like this kind of perspective, and I figure out like the head that I drew is too big, and mostly because we as humans, we focus on the face, and we want to see details, and we want to see what's going on for her, the in terms of expression, and then we spend more time there, and we don't realize that, at least happens to me, and then they're all with a big head, which is it's not bad. I mean, you can reduce the size, right? And just reduce the size, and from there like change it. But I like this pose in specific because it has overlapping. Look where the feet, my feet was going here, but now looking at the pose, I'm like, okay, actually the feet, if I draw the leg like this, the feet is around here, so I should bring that feet and then bring it all the way here, so it kind of match what I'm seeing. And these are tricky, but these are fun when you draw them plenty of times, and it will also make your drawings, more dynamic, and they will have like, that punch that we need for our drawings, more of that perspective, more of that dynamic shape. Yeah, also like somebody said in the comments, Domo said the pelvis is hidden, right? Because how the whole torso is tilted. So it's good observation there, and good observation, my friend, right? I like to also think about straight lines, try to like see where the line change, right? the direction of the line change, because obviously female bodies are curvy and everything, but every curve has an apex. So if we draw a curve like this, there will be a point where the curve starts changing direction. So finding those apex will help us to create a more defined, a more structural drawing that we later can soften up by adding more curvy lines and adding all of those things. And then the face, yeah, I didn't work on the face, so at least I wanna have that kind of structure there. Don't forget about that, right? And having a little bit of a mark for her eyes and the mouth. I don't worry too much about the face, right now, because I want to see the body and the proportions work. Even if you think it's still not completely right, we can take this and then freeform transform this, like bring it lower, right? Transform that. Right? And these are the kind of like drawings you probably will do in a live drawing class. These are challenges actually. These are really hard ones. Good that the model here is not moving. Obviously, it's a photo, but if it was a live drawing, it will be pretty hard, to be honest. But there we go. This is the approach for this pose, and obviously it requires more work, but we got most of the information that we need. So let's go to the next one. These are 5 minutes. I think this one's gonna be pretty easy, right? Find the head. The head is turning, but it's okay. The space is the same. I like to think about the tilt of that shoulder, and then draw the rib cage there, the mass of it. Think about that center line of her back going all the way down. Like comparing a little bit of the proportions, right? The center of the torso, then the bottom, the hips, and then we can focus on the legs. Right? Then we can focus on the legs. Legs are harder here, some foreshortening. So again, try to think about the shape and the space and the overall silhouette for this, and then that will help you. So my approach to drawing is that a mixture of gesture, a mixture of graphic shapes, right? So it's that play of looking at something and think about the overall shape that it has, and then the inner shapes. But then not forgetting about the construction, right? Because maybe your shape is not accurate, but with some construction and some anatomy, obviously, some anatomy will help us to get right those drawings. And like I said, this is our 5 minutes, and we shouldn't worry if it's not perfect, but that's a part of the practice, right? I'm practicing here with you guys, and the idea is to have fun with this, and I have fun with this. So okay. The leg, and I left the hair for last because I wanted to figure out what was the rib cage shape or the torso shape, because then on top I can draw the hair. Forget about the face. It's very important. Add some. Try to figure out where that ear might be. Probably here. See where the shoulder reach here, and the mouth is around here. So it's comparing those things, right? Comparing and drawing the whole skull and the whole mass of the head. And then on top we can add the hair. Right? So we add the hair, and then we start building something better for our drawing. Right? Center line. I like to add some marks for the eyes, and for the nose, and maybe the lips. So it's about having those marks and see how they relate to each other. And I'm not looking to create something that resembles exactly what I see, but something that fits together and looks cohesive. And again, like I said, probably here my head is too big, so I want to reduce the size, bring a little bit up, and then draw on top of it. My lines tends to be a little bit heavy, as you can see, pretty heavy on the handling of my lines. I use when I feel like when I'm drawing, I'm kind of sculpting this, so I go harder and harder, but sometimes it gets really dark. But we can always lower the opacity, open or create a new layer, and then build from there, build more of that drawing that we're doing. And yeah, like somebody saying on the chat, like we have to understand basic forms. That's why on my previous video I talked about drawing the cube, drawing a circle, drawing that in perspective, having that solidity on your drawing, you know, that everything kind of like has a sense of perspective, and that's what I'm looking for when I'm doing these drawings. And yeah, this kind of works for me. Kind of works for me. And maybe I need to warp this leg like a little bit lower, you know. Okay, so that's this one for 5 minutes. Let's do the next one, which I think is gonna be more fun and is easier to draw. And I'm gonna start. It's more artistic too, so it's more like a sculpture type. So I'm gonna start with the head, and then gonna bring that gesture of her torso. I'm gonna like lay the angle of the shoulders here, and then let's draw a little bit of that torso. See the stretch on the left side. See the pinch here on the right side. They start building a little bit of that box for her pelvis. And then it's important when we do this kind of drawings, very like academic drawings, is to notice where like I said, the angles of the shoulders and the pelvis, but also what leg is holding the weight of the pose, right? And this is the leg that I want to draw first, so it feels like actually it's being supported by that leg, right? This is a classical, like a contrapposto, which means like one area is engaged and one area is not that engaged, and it has like relaxed and active, right? So we want to bring also the other leg, but as soon as I have that, I will be first finding the tilt of the body here, of the shoulders, the pelvis, and then finding that leg that supports the weight of the body. And then the rest of the drawing is it will fit easily because you know the structure is there. The body, this body is standing there, and that leg is holding the whole weight and the whole pose, right? Then we can have fun drawing the other parts, and also having that rope piece of drapery there will help us to make our drawings more flowy, more fun to draw. We can take liberties with that piece of clothes and then maybe change it to our liking. See how the butt cheeks are different. The line here, one is compressed and one is relaxed, right? For those who are interested in drawing the torso, I have a tutorial on my channel which I updated recently with the timestamp like we talked, and then there I explain actually pretty well on how to draw the construction and everything. So I'm not doing the whole construction that I do in the video because otherwise it will take me like way too much time, and this is like 5 minutes, right? And I already know that, so I'm trying to like think about the elements or sections of that construction that will help me And as we grow as artists, that's what's happening, right? We don't do the whole construction from zero and laying the rib cage and all that, because otherwise we're gonna have very stiff drawings. But as we go, we learn to draw things, and then we cannot forget the whole process, because we are thinking about the three dimensionality of the parts, and how they are how they should be drawn like correctly, because you have drawn so many times, right? That's a part of the practice, right? You practice a lot, and then you are really familiar with the proportions and how it should look right. Then later on you're like, okay, I know how to draw this, and move on to the next part, right? And that's the part of this, the function of this string, so you guys can improve your approach to drawing the figure, so it becomes easier and easier and easier and easier, and then you have more fun while drawing and doing your drawings. And also, don't forget to drink some water. And about reference, yeah, it's on Pinterest. I have like reference on my Pinterest, so you can check that. I would like to thank my friend Holden Rennie. He's been helping me with the chat, so be nice. So thank you, my friend, for helping me there. And with this, I feel like I'm pretty done with this pose. But something that is good to, and we should not neglect, is to add the scapula here, to add those marks in the back, right? So that was good. These are fun. These are easy to draw, and you can repeat this many times, and there's always going to be something new to learn from that pose specifically. That's why they use it a lot in Italian like ateliers or drawing workshops, right? Okay, for this pose is more active, and I'm gonna think about more of the gesture, right? So you see the gesture of the torso going all the way down to the leg shooting here, right? That's kind of like what I see. As soon as I saw this is the graphic version or the gesture simplification that I saw, right? This is my drawing here, like, right? We putting everything together with simple lines. Especially this reference is really a good one, because we have a lot of silhouette, but we also have that gesture that is really powerful. And I mean, it's ballet dancing, so of course it's gonna be anything that is related to sports, to action, to movement, to dancing. We have a lot of gesture, and those are great to practice and draw from. And just by having that graphic line, that gesture there, it tells us a lot. And also the hand, look at the hand, is nice. I like the hand just pointing like a gun too, right? So it gives a lot of attitude to the drawing already. Is having that graceful hand there. And the ear, and then the hair. We can play with the hair, add some motion to the hair. It's always good to have that in our drawings. And then we can work a little bit more on the specifics. And for this one, I like to use the clothes again to give form to my drawing. It will inform our drawing better, our form, our figure better. Even the pants, how the pants are like wrapping around her legs, and what is the lines that it does, right? What kind of line it is wrapping around that shape, right? Don't forget about the feet, of course. Make sure that you have a measurement. If your drawing is too big, reduce the size. It happens here. It happens plenty on this during the stream, because I probably will do these drawings smaller, but I need to show the process. So I probably will do them like half the size of what I'm doing right now, because the bigger the drawing, the more time it will take, right? It will take more time to get the line across. And then we see the graphic shapes, the silhouette. Can add some anatomy there. And this is a fun one. I like this one. It's a fun one. I think the previous one might be a little bit harder, to be honest. So we started with some heavy ones, and we're going to a more fun, easier ones. And it can happen. Sometimes you get different models when you're like actually in a live drawing session with some real models. Like they can start with some really difficult poses. You're like, wow, I just came here and this is the pose you're gonna get first. Well, I say that and I think about that and I'm like, Jesus, man, this pose is hard. I hope she could do something like easier later on, but the first ones are like really hard, but then later on the model gets tired, so start like sitting down, laying on the floor. I was like, yeah, but by the end, I just don't even want to move. They're like, oh, I just want to like lay down here. If they have a chair, they will take that chair. I'll take the chair. I mean, it's fair enough. So, gotta enjoy those complicated poses sometimes, because then later you won't have them, and it's also a change of pace too. Right? Oh, welcome, yokoso, Namiya-kun. Right? And if we're gonna go further, we can add some, a little bit of shade here. We have also great lighting, so we can add some of shade to here to create that, to give it a little bit more form, right? Not only with lines, but with some kind of shading will also help the drawing. All right, now we have a different one, completely different approach, but still very graphic, right? And it's cool how, like, see those horns there. So again, I definitely like this pose, especially because of the horns and the whole shape of the body is pretty nice. So yeah, I'm gonna start in a different way. Like I have done this in the past. I tilt my pencil when I'm working traditionally, and I tilt it and I work in a very like soft and blurry way, where I'm just kind of figure out the form of it and figure out the shapes, and without any specific line. And that's another approach that I do. So I'm teaching here some of my different approach when I'm doing live drawing. Sometimes I just don't want to go straight with some lines, but maybe something that is a little bit more blurry, and you can use your finger, and if you're working traditionally, you can smear the paper, and then you can use the eraser, and then start giving like shade. It's like a sculpting, right? So that's another approach to this. But again, we want what we want to find is that all the relationships of the forms are working, and this one is I think even though the figure might be difficult, the graphic shape is fun to draw. So I want to approach it that way. I think to me at least, it's fun. Instead of just using the same way every time I draw, you start to go for this, and you can even like feel that, figure, feel it with some shade there, and also will serve us as a tone, right? We're gonna have a base tone for the drawing that we can build on top. Right? You get the hand, and I have to pay attention to that graphic shape silhouette, right? There you go. And I think it's looking pretty well. So I like to come and do this sometimes like this way, right? Very like soft, blurry, and yeah, you're just finding that shape there. We can again lower the opacity on this. I will just go with my hand and scrub on the whole page to make it smoother and even. Right? And then of course we can go and have more fun drawing these. build on top of whatever we have, and that might be a better way for you guys to approach this. I suggest you to try all the different ways that I'm doing this. Also combine it with other ways you have learned from other artists. That's how you can develop your own way of tackling your life drawings. That's how I tackle my life drawings. I learn from different people, from different schools, from different classes, and kind of like point it together like, oh, okay, I like this approach and I like this one here. So the more you practice different approaches and different ways of doing your drawing, one, you're gonna have more fun because you can change it. You can be like, oh, you know what, I'm gonna change it like this way because I feel like this is more fun to me right now. And or you're struggling to get the shape right and you're like, oh, I think if I go and I do it the other way that I learn, it's gonna be beneficial for my drawing. And that obviously gets is with experience, but always be open to different kind of way of teaching. I wouldn't go and just like I said, follow only one way of doing something, because even if the person is really good, you want to grow and you want to be versatile with your drawings and your experience, not only like the final result but also how you are enjoying the drawing, the drawing aspect, the action of doing this, the time spent focusing and doing this, it's also for our entertainment. So that's why I suggest you do different ones. And yeah, well, this is as far as I could go with the previous one. the next one is easier, I guess. But I'm gonna come back and gonna open this one and open this one. I'm gonna merge them down and then create a new layer. Right? Konnichiwa, Nanya-san, Nanya-kun. Alright, well, let's have fun with this. And I feel I'm getting more like warm up now with this. And again, look for the graphic shape, look for the center line of the body. And when the person or the model is squatting like this, you should definitely draw the pelvis. Try to figure out the pelvis down there. First, forget about the arms. And focus on the legs and where the legs are starting and how they connect. Is very importante. Very importante. Right? We're gonna get that there. And then later we drew the arms. I like to leave those things for last, because if I start drawing the like I say, if I draw the arms and the hands, I'm just gonna make it more complicated for myself. To me, like, at least my brain I don't like to do that, and I think I'll make more mistakes if I just draw the arms and everything, and then I like try to figure out the rest. Right? It doesn't work for me. Maybe it works for you. Maybe you know everybody's different. So, but I like to have that approach, that the pose is solid, that it feels grounded, that it feels that it has nice construction there, that feels that actually that person is doing this pose. And then later I want to worry about the arms and the rest. Also, the corset that she has is good. Help us to like figure out where the breast will start. Also notice how the arms are under her breast. Right? And then I can find out the hands and everything. So here the graphic shape will be a triangle. You see that? It's a triangle shape. And don't forget to drink some water. I need a chewing gum, guys. I'm dying. Okay, so we have these, and then we create that. We have that shape inside the torso, which is a triangle. and then the face head is also tilted to the side. I like to find the ear, see how the jaw, where is the pointy at, construct the head, and then add up ponytail shape that she has. Pretty cool, right? Pretty cool, pretty graphic, fun to draw. すごいね、日本語のコメントが多くなってきたんだ。ようこそ日本人たちがこのライブストリームへ。できればもっと教えたいと思います。Right? So I feel I'm warming up, and now I have my face then drawn, and I have my ears, and everything's coming together, and then we can draw the cleavage. Think about the roundness here, the breast. Think about that center line there. There's another triangle there at the bottom. Also look at the shiny parts of the costume. Is also pretty fun to add those later, if you have some kind of value added. And also, if our head is not looking proper, we can change the size. As long as we figure out that there's something that we need to change, that's the point of this. まあ日本語はまあ上手わけではないけど、まあ大阪で3年ぐらい住んでたから、まあこの日本語今でも練習しているからね。頑張ってます。できれば頑張ってます。ね。So we have this. I forgot to add the hands, but you guys can come back later and continue. The next pose, we did that before and on the previous one, but it's always good sometimes to repeat the same pose to reinforce the knowledge, right? And maybe you guys compare this video with the previous video, right? To see if the approach changed, right? So I'm gonna start with the gesture of the torso and the gesture of the pelvis. Notice there's a stretch on this side and there's a pinch on this side. There's a break and a stretch, right? That part we have to keep in mind. Then we throw the arm, holding the pose, and then we throw the other leg, right? And when I do this with a model and everything, I go really fast because I know the model will start like changing the pose or start like she will get tired, having the hand like that up in the air. That stuff only can last for a few seconds or a minute maximum. Well, it depends on the model, but it is not an easy thing, right? So for the legs, again, I would like to figure out where my knee is, find the other knee, probably a little bit lower, and then I can add that there. See where it's pointing the feet, pointing the direction, also the relationship with the other one that is pointing to the ground. Find that nice curvature here at the front of the leg. Right? Oh, Hirogohan tabete masu ne. Okay, so yeah, this is the approach, and I like this because I think I did it in a different way. I also was teaching something different last time, so feel free to check that video where maybe you guys can see the different approach to the art, right? To the process. Forget the hand. Don't forget the suit. So will give us a nice description of the body, of the shapes of the body, and you want to make sure you have the pose in there, and that is also, don't forget the hand and kind of Don't forget the hand. Don't forget the hand is coming this way. And the ponytails and all that stuff. Right? And the ponytail goes like this way, all the way down there. Like that. Face, nose. I definitely need to do some head drawing sessions for us. You know. So we have this, and this will be kind of like the pose for this one. I can stretch it, can change it a little bit more to like this, so it feels more wide, more stable, and maybe no, I will probably stretch this one here to make her legs a little bit longer, right? So this will be like a nice practice for this one. I noticed that my head might be a little bit way back, so probably need to bring a little bit further front, tilt it more to this side. There you go, something like this, right? So check your silhouettes, and then you will see where you can find some of the mistakes or some of the misplaced parts of the body, right? So this will be my drawing for this pose, and I'm deciding extra lines just to make sure that the whole thing feels good, that it's flowing, and yeah, we're done with this one. You know, maybe a lot of lines. I'm gonna try to use less lines. I just like to do the lines over and over, right? Because I'm explaining and then go back again and do this, right? This one is fun. The trick for these kind of poses is to figure out the eye level. So if our model is this tall, we have to see where the horizon is, or our eye level, right? So the person who took this photo was like lower in the ground, right? So we have to, from that kind of point of view, the perspective will be different, right? So we're gonna have things that are more, that start overlapping and then getting like really long as we go here, right? We're gonna have that curve. See how the tilt of the shoulders, then the tilt of the hips, then the center, then the leg that is holding the weight, and notice how that leg just lands just in the center of the body there, just boom, right? It lands there. Then we have the arms pointing to different directions. That's okay. I will leave that for later. We have a stretch on this side of the torso. We have compression on the right side. And then we have this nice triangle here going on. So that's how we can like break down this pose in the simplest way. The simplest way. Right? But always keeping in mind that our eye level, right? Lower eye level, and this. The only thing that is problematic is that sometimes these arms, they cannot fit on the page, but we can cheat a little bit. We can just kind of squeeze them or move them in different ways. And I'm gonna look for the center line, legs, and feet here. So I have everything like laid down there, right? Also the face, the jaw. She also has some earrings and forearm. We have a nice rib cage, breast. And now I'm gonna reduce the opacity of this, and I'm gonna build a drawing on top of that, a better drawing, okay? So we can see better. I need to look more at the model. Sometimes I'm drawing and I'm drawing my construction the way I like to do my construction, but we have to look at the model to, you know, to get the drawing like proper, right? it can happen that we're drawing and we get lost in our drawing, and then when we look up, it's like, oh shit, like it's not looking like how it should be. And that's kind of like we want to avoid some of that, right? By paying attention to the drawing, to the ear, and we're gonna start building a better drawing. Like I say, I tend to do my lines really dark when I'm drawing, also for the purpose of the string, so you guys can see what I'm doing. And also look at the shapes of the shadows on her belly. That will help us to study that. We can jump to that level there when later on, when we get more time, right? The legs, we can widen that hip more, right? I think that's something that is missing. And this knee, we find the other knee a little bit higher. Connection there, we connect that. Look at the roundness of the thigh. Find where the ankle is, and then connect the ankle with the leg. You guys need to get your anatomy right. Don't forget about that too. You can have also good drawings, but they will be way better if you have better anatomy. So you have to study that along with drawing figures. I know people who have done a lot of figure drawing, but they don't study any anatomy. And the drawing, doesn't matter how many times you go to try drawing. If you don't get that anatomy, your drawings are gonna still be very amateurish, right? So yeah, this will be like the next step, right? Where I put more time to draw the pose and take my time and everything. So let's go to the next one. This is a good one. Very rounded. So I'm gonna go and approach it that way. I'm gonna make it more cartoony to have some kind of fun here. So a small head, torso. I'm gonna go really crazy with this one. So add that bunny tail there, it helps a lot. But then we want those big hips. Notice that our eye level is more really like around here, mid torso, right? Mid torso, right? Mid torso, and as we draw the legs, start having that perspective and start tapering, right? So for those who are interested in drawing legs, you can also check my tutorial, because I have a tutorial on this very channel where I explain how to draw the legs and how to draw all of that. And I want to go more cartoonish, having like big hair, right? Big hair, big legs. Thinking about the arm last. Don't forget the torso, make it like smaller, so the proportions look more fun to us. Even the breast, right? The breast I could go like with a little bit smaller, not that big, right? So I'm drawing my graphic shapes, the hand, right? For when you draw like arms that are on this position, it can be really hard because there's a lot of foreshortening. So what we want to find where is that elbow, right? Where is the elbow in our torso, right? I think it's around here. If I follow the breast and I follow that whatever clothes she's using, I'm gonna do a circle. That's where my elbow's gonna be. And then I like to draw my cylinders to create that foreshortening. Then I also need to find where the wrist is around here. So I'm gonna draw my cylinder and then connect, and then connect. Also according to the anatomy, right? We can connect that. And the hand and the fingers and the rest of this. And now we can have more fun, and we can add more. We can have more texture, more volume. We can move that probably like ponytail more to the right side, so we create more three-dimensionality. Face is kind of small, but it's okay. That's kind of like the cute things of this. And again, I'm not looking for on this drawing in specific to be perfect. I'm looking just to have some fun, right? And this drawing is already looking really fun, right? We can have also big bunny ears, big bunny ears pointing this way. So now we have more fun drawing because we know the shapes, but we can exaggerate it. We can make them bigger, make them bigger, and find the knee. Remember that nice leg there, like nice silhouette, right? Notice that our calf is like, it gets smaller than the leg because our point of view is here. So when we look down, things are gonna have this taper. It's gonna start having more perspective. So that's why the calf, they look smaller but still rounded and thick. And here we add the high heel. I like to think about where the high heel is being placed on the floor, and then based on that I also draw my silhouette and add some kind of roundness to that. On this one I will focus on the heel, shoot that the heel there, and then I'll figure out the rest of the heel by drawing the overall silhouette. And then we have our high heels. And then we have a fun drawing, right? A fun drawing that we can explore, and then we can have fun with this. Construction, shape, and making things a little bit more fun for us, right? And obviously we can come back and add the rest and add some like cute lips, and then add all that stuff that make the drawing pop and make it juicy. Okay. All right, well, let's do this one, and then we're gonna take a break for like 2 minutes so I can change and answer some questions, and then change the amount of time for each pose. And this one, again, graphic shape. I like to see the torso. I like to see how that torso is turning, right? It's the stretch. I like to draw the stretch first, and then the pinch here, center line. Right, we have that tilt like this for the torso. It's very extreme, so tilt for the torso, and then tilt of the shoulders, right? Kind of extreme, right? And then shooting down to the ground again, like a straight, also tapering the shapes of that leg, holding the whole weight, right? Holding the whole weight, and then having that leg coming like this. It's a triangle shape, at least that's what I see. Triangle shape, connecting, following that nice gesture, right? We add the head, and then we can think about how this gesture is still shooting up, and as it shoots up, it follows the arm, right? And I also think about this energy going that way, like the anatomy and everything is also giving me that curve. And I want to bring that to do the other, draw the other arm, place the arm, different parts, the hair. See some of the graphic shape here, the silhouette. Think about that silhouette in there. Think about the silhouette of the face, silhouette of the shoulder, right? It's very graphic, but it will like create like a nice structure for us to work on top of this. Again, and this wouldn't be my final drawing. I will do the same thing as I did before. Lower the opacity, maybe like erase a little bit, and then on top of that start building my kind of like, I would say, final drawing. And when I'm doing live drawing in a classroom, when in a session with a live model, I'll probably use a light pencil, uh, not so expensive paper, so when I'm drawing I can smear the page and draw again. I have also, if you have seen my YouTube channel, I have videos where I'm drawing a model live. I think it's called Creating Characters from Construction. And there I do that technique where I'm drawing with my pencils. It's all traditional. And I explain basically most of this stuff again in there. And again, as I say, I'm gonna be adding some of these are already on my Pinterest. So if you go to my Pinterest, you're gonna have a have a selection of the photos that I've been using. And after this string ends, I'm gonna take the photos that we did here and I'm gonna put it on that Pinterest so you guys can see the drawings. You can also add your drawings to the pins. So if you want me to check that, just add the drawings to your Pinterest and I will check those too. I think you can do that. Add your drawings to your Pinterest. So yeah, this is the pose. I like where this is going. I like where this is going overall. And I reinforce this plenty of times because I want to make sure that my graphic shape is there, that I'm not missing any information, that I have the energy of the drawing. And so you guys should do the same if you can. And now we have a repeated image, but so I'm gonna actually turn that off and I'm gonna probably draw on top of this and I'm gonna answer some questions and talk a little bit while I take a little bit of a break before we jump to the 10 minutes, okay? Woo. So this is like a break times, okay? So I'm gonna put here. I'll let up at the timestamp so you know when I stop or when no. Muito obrigado to all the brasileiros or portugués in the house. Un saludo a todos los chicos que hablan en español. Este video está en inglés, desafortunadamente, pero hay bastantes explicaciones. Un saludo a tu Brasil, un saludo a tu Japan, Nihon, mite kurete arigatou gozaimasu con tu Brasil. Well, I already went, right? Saludo a toda mi familia latinoamericana que está viendo los videitos. Hello to everybody from everybody around the world. And now you know that you can watch the video later on my channel. And I want to thank you guys because I've been getting a lot of support. You guys have been watching a lot of the videos. You guys are learning and kind of keep me motivated. And you also guys keep yourself motivated. Yeah, meu sueño era morar en una favela. I heard somebody say that. Essa garota é muito gostosa. That's all I know. Peguei a cabeça. Right? So yeah, thank you guys for like drawing and doing all of this stuff. Un saludo a la gente de Bolivia, un saludo a todas las personas que ven el canal. Estoy trabajando poco a poco para mejorar el canal, para que todos tengan contenido chévere y bueno. Todavía estoy en la planificación de mi canal en español para ustedes. Nihon. Arigato gozaimasu. Mite kurete arigato gozaimasu. Dekireba nihongo de なんか説明したいと思いますね。なんか面白いと思いますけど、まあ僕の日本語はまだだけどこのまあ絵を描き方の説明をしたら多分日本語はもっと上手くなるかもね。そうできればそうしたいんだ。 そうしたいと思います。でも見るだけでこのビデオを見るだけでなんか嬉しいです。¿Cómo le hace para mostrar las referencias a tiempo? Tengo un software que se llama OBS y allí coloco las imágenes y dedico el tiempo. De hecho, gracias por recordarme porque tengo que cambiarle el tiempo para los 10 minutos. Y 10 minutos son 6. Son 6. Son 60.000 segundos. Okay. 6.000 segundos. Espero que todos estén aprendiendo y pasando un momento agradable. No, creo que no debe haber dibujado esto aquí, pero vamos a hacerle una ropa. Lo que pasa es que hay que dibujar los pezones para que tenga una buena figura. We have to also, like, unfortunately, like you know, YouTube and all that stuff, like nipples are like wow, but actually nipples is like another way to find like the angle of the breast, you know, in an artistic way. That's what happens, right? Like you try to find like the belly button, you try to find the different parts of the body to help you. Like you do the same with the eyes, right? One eye is higher than the other. So I like traditional art. I like to draw also on the iPad. So I like both. I have sketches and have like other things that I'm using that I like to do my drawings and everything, right? But yeah, I like traditional and I like digital. So I don't have any preference. Sometimes traditional is more fun and can be out of the computer. Yeah, if you guys want to know about my Pinterest, is on the description of the video. Para los que quieran visitar a mi Pinterest, tengo abajo el link de mi website y de otras cosas que tengo. Así que allí pueden conseguir poses de dibujo que he estado reuniendo y que estoy utilizando en los streams. Okay? So you can find there the poses I've been using during the live streams. Okay? Yeah. So at the end, I'm just drawing from imagination. I don't have any reference to up right now. So I'm drawing from imagination, from what I know, from what I like, for the lines that I like to draw. And I have different brushes here that I use. This one is pretty nice for drawing like leather and stuff like that. You know, has a lot of texture, but it's also fun. Especially when you're like doing live drawing, you're gonna be fast. So this one feels quickly, the drawing. That's also on my pack. And I think this brush comes with Procreate by itself. So I didn't create this one. Maybe I adjusted a little bit the brush to my preference, but I don't think I didn't create this one. But it's on the pack. Okay. So Procreate already has a lot of good brushes, but I also have my own brushes there, right? And then we can change to a different one, pencil, right? Like that. I love how you push perspective but still keep everything grounded. Yeah, that's kind of like the balance you gotta have there. Yeah, buying an iPad is a good idea. Alright, so how are you guys feeling? Are you guys drawing or are you guys like just watching? Eh? Or you guys are gonna draw later with me? With the video? I think the next string is gonna be really fun because I'm gonna be drawing a lot of heads and drawing the construction and all of that. Okay, so yeah, let me put this stuff away. You know, delete this and bring this back. Organize a little bit these layers. This one is fun, right? I like this one. Very rounded, very cartoony. And we can open this one and then, you know, organize the layers a little bit before we start the next round. because depending on the iPad, the amount of layers that you can have at the same time changes. So if you have a smaller iPad with lower, like with not enough space, the amount of layers that you can make is not that much, right? I'm also gonna post these drawings on my Patreon. Okay, so you guys can look at those as we go. Oh yeah, of course. Okay, so I'm gonna do the next one, 10 minutes. So are you guys ready? This is a lot. This is a big. This is a practice for me. You know, this is a hardcore practice. Like I'm teaching all of this, and it looks like fun, but it takes a lot of energy to do all of this. Once the string is done, I'm just gonna like lay down and sleep for a little bit. All right. So we're ready. Let's see what comes. We did this already. This is okay. This is fine. This is cool. Let's see. Should we do another one? This is nice. Sports. We did this one. We did this one. This one is nice. Let's do this ping up style. Okay. So, Hajime Masho. Let's do this. This is 10 minutes. And, well, you guys, by now, or you guys don't get tired of me saying the same stuff, right? We find the head. Because I wish I had a teacher that would repeat the stuff like as many times as I'm repeating for every time I'm drawing every pose. You know? Then the torso. Then we find the angles of the shoulders. Then the arm here. I like the legs. The legs are really nice here. They're cute. They have a nice gesture. Even though I said I was gonna take a break, I didn't end up taking a break. I mean, I stopped a little bit, but I ended up drawing more. Right? So when we draw the legs, I think about the cylinders, like I explained in the tutorial, but also try to learn the shapes of how the lines just flow into another one, right? Then you're gonna start getting more specific. Nice. So we have this. You know, and as I'm measuring, I like to start adding some of the costume and start drawing a little bit more, because I already kind of warm up, but basically it's the same. I look and compare to what I have, and if I find some lines that I feel like, oh, that line is correct, it looks good, I'm just gonna draw that line instead of like reinforcing the whole gesture. Because I like I said, I have done this plenty of times, so like the gesture is there, and that's what we did until now. We were doing a lot of warm-ups and constructing and all of this. Now we can just start constructing, but then why not draw on top of it, and then we can probably finish our drawings faster, and it will take a little bit of time looking at this, right? So draw the head, draw the jaw, add some constructions here, right? The hair has a very distinctive shape, so we want to bring that, right? Notice that the pectoral muscle, this area here, a lot of people have a lot of trouble, so it's good to practice that. A lot of people have this. It's a big trouble for artists, is that union or connection of the arm and the pectoral muscle and the shoulder. Like, it's an area where a lot of artists fail, because it is complicated. The muscles that are going, you need to know the anatomy right to get that right. You know, it changes according to the position. So if you don't know the anatomy, you're gonna be struggling for a long time, and that happens to me too. I struggle too. until I learned, I was like, okay, the anatomy here is this and this is what's happening. So that therefore that's why that shape is looks like that, right? You see, I did the constructed that arm easily, not so much trouble. I was looking at the center line to see what I might be missing in terms of like three-dimensionality. Actually, the center line for this drawing is really more to the left than the right, like a lot, by a lot, right? Also, I like to draw the side of the dress, the seam of the dress. That will also show a lot of the three-dimensionality. Right? Then we have the ear, the hair, and then we have the eyes. I like to place the eyes as a placeholder, and then the triangle for the nose, and the smile, she's smiling. So we get these basic shapes here, and then we can also, apart from this, once we get that, we can start drawing. Actually, I'm not gonna draw exactly what I see because actually my reference is a little bit further on the screen. It's hard to see exactly the lines and everything, so I'm gonna do a mix of my art style plus what I see, and if it doesn't look good, it's fine. It's part of the process. Not all the drawings have to be perfect or work as soon as it is. We can erase, we can go back to it, we can change it. So never be discouraged if your drawing is not working like at once, right? Happens to everybody. That draws. Like, gonna be some changes, and you have to be open-minded for those mistakes or whatever happens. And a lot of people ask me like, oh, if I do this, how many and how long I'll be better, how long it will take me to be better with my drawing. I'm still doing this. I'm always learning something new and always practicing something new. So I don't think about like rushing myself like, oh, I need to do this because I want to get soon like better. Well, you want that, but I wouldn't worry too much about that and focus on the fun part of doing this. And also it depends if you understand the concepts easily. Some people understand this in really quickly, like quickly. Other people takes a lot of time to understand it. So it depends on the person too. Are you is it like easy for you to understand this? Or maybe it looks easy to understand, seems easy to understand, but once you practice, it's actually not that easy, So I definitely will focus more on the journey and practice with thinking about that, and not worry too much if I'm getting better, because what happens to most of the artists is like you practice, and you like, oh man, I haven't got better, but then like a few months later you're drawing, you're like, oh man, my drawings got better. You actually don't realize until like you do another drawing and it's complete and you're like, oh wow, okay, I feel I'm getting better and this is looking way better than before. So that's when you notice like how things are like, how you're getting better with your drawings is something that happens, like, and you don't realize until like it happens, right? And somebody asked how long I've been drawing. I've been drawing for almost like 15 years, to be honest. But I would say I study more formally like 7 years ago. Also, I already been a professional for 15 years or maybe more than that, So I've been doing this for a long time. So, yeah. But I always look for improvement. I want to improve. I want to get better. Also having fun. That's why I said have fun when you draw, because this is gonna take some time, and you're not gonna get better one day to another, but your drawing's gonna get better little by little, and then you're gonna be like, oh wow, I didn't expect that to happen, and wow, now I'm doing this better, and I understand this, I understand that. So those aha moments are like, oh, now I get it, now I see why this stuff was like that. And even now, if after all these years, it still happens, and it happens to all the artists. All the artists are also in the journey, and they, even if they are master at the craft or they know how to paint beautifully, there's always a moment of like, oh, that color is amazing, I never thought that way, I never saw things this way. And that's the beauty of learning, right? Of learning and practicing, and learning drawing, and all of this is having that moment where things click and work, and you feel like, wow, and I didn't think that was like that, but now I feel better, feel more secure about my drawings. And but it's having that mindset that this stuff happens, and it takes time. And I was never thinking about like, oh, it's taking, how long it's gonna take me, like how long is it gonna be. Actually, I should have done this in a different way. Oh well, we changed the pose, right? So but we went really fast, right, with this one. And I would like to go back to this, and as a final thing, just to make everything more solid, I will go and draw with a thicker line, just to make sure that my drawing has the same amount of thickness. That's just personal preference. That's just my thing. Feels like the drawing is more solid and it's more graphic, like a comic book. So let's go for another one. And guys, probably in 30 minutes is gonna be done, the string, right? And well, this one is also fun to do. These are like, when you want to improve your gestures, always do some kind of sport poses. That's why I include this in here, because there's so much movement, and so much things to look at in a more simplified way. So when I see this, I'm already seeing that torso going this way, but also the hips are here. But I just look at that straight line that goes to the floor. That's kind of holding the pose, you see? So as soon as you identify that, your drawing is gonna be way better. You will feel like your characters are ground into the floor, Also, you can see how graphic shape here of the legs. See where the knees are. See where the hand and the shoe is touching. Draw a little bit of that shape there. Torso. She's looking down. Right? Again, don't worry if the drawing doesn't look perfect as you start drawing this, right? But it's just, again, the practice of this, going over and over again with these drawings. Right? I mean, to anybody will be like, wow, that looks like crap. What are you doing, man? What are you doing with your life, right? But you're like, oh, just wait a minute. Give me some time to work on this, and I'll show you, right? Also, the arm. Look at where's the elbow. Connect the elbow like we did on the other drawing. Connect the elbow, connect the arm, connect the hand, the feet, and then we can go on top of this. Right? See that gesture there going up. I like how the gesture of the leg is always also going up in this direction and this direction, and she's looking down, so that also helps to kind of like in a terms of composition, it will like bring our eye back to this. It's a great pose, and you can actually use this on your characters or whatever. Correct the things you need to correct, and this will be my pose for this one. Right? I feel it's solid, and I feel like it's good. So I'm gonna lower the opacity. As I go, I want this stage of this part of the drawing just to go as fast as I can, but I know I have all the information. Then I can, as we did on the other drawings, just go to the specific and then start like, I like adding the clothing, adding the clothing and adding some of that, the breast there, adding the tilt of the shoulders, but also while drawing the clothes, right? The clothing, the uniform. See the anatomy there of the shoulder, of the elbow, and we want that to connect here to the wrist. So I like to see everything together as a whole, like we did now, but also start like breaking a little bit of the parts to get a better construction, right? Because I know my construction is not perfect there, but as I'm drawing, I'm just checking like my center lines. So I'm thinking about all of those things. Center lines, where is that t-shirt, where is the silhouette, and that's where your concentration goes, right? You're thinking about all that stuff. You're observing, and basically that's what I'm doing. I'm observing and I'm telling you what I'm observing as I draw this. It's pretty hard to explain all of this and draw at the same time. If you haven't tried, you should try. You should try drawing and explain at the same time and try to get a good drawing. And it is not easy. And definitely, if I was like drawing on my own in my room with my music, chilling, these drawings will come out really, really good because I'm in my space, right? I'm here doing this, so streaming these kind of things. Also, you guys are here live with me. We're talking, and we are doing this, so it takes a lot of like energy to do this stuff. Notice the knee. Notice that knee silhouette. It's really interesting. So it's good to study that. Also, it's on my tutorial. So if you want to know how to draw legs the right way, it's on my channel. Yeah, actually, I would like to do some sumo poses. I like drawing fat, chunky people. You know, it has a lot of like fun rounded lines that you can do, right? It's like a it's a sumo. It's my sumo. Perfect, right? And do the face. Make sure it has a three-dimensional shape. Add some guidelines to this. You know. Oh, thank you for following the channel. Thank you for subscribing into the channel. So I appreciate that. I know many of you are already following the channel, subscribing to the channel, but I will appreciate it because I'm gonna be adding more content and there's a cool stuff coming to the channel. So feel free to, spread the information. Help me out because I like teaching too. I like doing these things, but I also like to make sure that it's also reaching to other people, because I know when I was starting to draw, I didn't have teachers to teach me. So I'm teaching because I had that in the past. I didn't have somebody who will sit down and do this explanation step by step, and this stuff that you see in like in schools and classes and stuff like that. So I'm spreading the knowledge, doing these drawings and teaching you guys, so we can all get better and have fun drawing and learning and all of this. So it's trying to give to the community of artists, because I know many of you are struggling. A lot of artists struggle to take classes, especially from South America. I'm from South America, so I know there's little schools, there like not many people draw, there's not a community. So that's why I doing this, so you guys also can improve, learn, and have fun with your drawings, and get over your struggles when you draw. Because I didn't have anybody to teach me this stuff, so I struggle a lot, and I want to make your struggle easy to overcome. So feel free to draw me a follow, no follow, I subscribe. I get mixed with Twitch and YouTube. YouTube is subscribe, and Twitch is, well, subscribe too, but follow is the main one. But yeah, make sure to subscribe to the channel, man. Throw me a subscription there, like subscribe, and I'm gonna keep doing more of this. Also gonna be doing the drawing the head and faces, you know. So yeah, you guys see how the drawings are getting better. We're getting more gestural drawings, and I have enough time to talk to you guys and also add some shade here to the uniform. Take some time to, you know, add some shade to your drawings, and they will look more complete. They will look more complete for sure. They will look nicer. He sells the best stickers in the world. Well, thank you, man. Thank you. I've been selling good amount of stickers and doing commissions and stuff. I'm gonna be actually working on a cover for Street Fighter this month. Probably will be up in 2 months or something, but I'm gonna be doing a Street Fighter cover for Capcom and Udon. So yeah. So you get commissions and you get that in the YouTube channel and spreading the love of art, and the post change, right? I really like this drawing. You see, it's simple and it's fun. Everything based on the right gesture, study of the gesture, and then build on top of that. I'm back. She is Ishii, Japanese volleyball player. So Ishii desu ka? So Ishii. Or I know, I think it's Ishii. Ishii-san. Ishii-san de godaimasu. Take this, cut this sumo player there, sumo wrestler. So I like that. That's a good pose. So let's go for the next one. This one is a typical convention time. That's where you can get a lot of cool poses. So before Corona-chan, and you could go to conventions, you could ask people. Some of those players are really good at poses. This one is tricky, and the eye level is actually here, so there's a lot of foreshortening and all of that. But I'm gonna try. This is a challenge, guys. This is a challenge pose. And this is probably in a comiket. Komiketo no cosplayer-san no の写真ね、まあ古いけど、まあなんとなく、まあ面白いね。コスプレイヤーの、まあ時々のポーズがなんか面白い。It's like kind of extreme. Look at the placement of the feet, right? Look at the placement, like the knees here. The other knee, I think, is here. Then we have this extreme bending, and then the feet pointing this way. Then we go around, and then the leg is also short, and it's pointing this way. But it's very anime, right? So we have this face, and probably gonna try to focus on the pose first, like we did with the rest. When you deal with this pose, try to break it down as much as you can. Ne? So if you guys can also, you can look for cool poses on like Comiket or conventions or cosplayers. Like Comiket is very cool too. And for this drawing, because it's very dynamic, I want to find the hands, right? I draw the hand here, and I'm gonna draw a straight line. That straight line will help me to find this other hand. そんなことないです。まだまだです。日本語はまだです。まだですよ。もっと勉強しなきゃいけないんです。And also we need to find the elbow, which is here. Right? Find the elbow. Look how it breaks, the elbow. Elbow breaks there. And then we have the pose. We have the neck. Shoulder is going up. It looks more like menacing. The hair. And then we have the torso. Looking down. Center line. Somewhere there. I'm just gonna do a basic construction because I'm not drawing the anatomy. I cannot see nothing. I cannot see anything. But at least what I can see, I try to like build it. So that's why these poses are challenging. These are a big challenge because all the clothes and everything. So try to, when you do your studies from these photos, try to build the whole body. And then draw the clothes on top. And that will make it so easy. But this is the hard work. これは一番難しいね。このポスのちゃんと書いて、そして服、その上に服を書くの方がまたもう楽になるんだね。So it becomes easier when you draw the clothes on top of the structure, right? And the face. So look at the face. She's like decided to kill. So, use an easy, face there, just to start giving it some kind of expression. Obviously, we can change this face and make it like nicer and construction and everything. But I know that I haven't done the clothes. So that's what I want to like reduce this a little bit, and then actually you can actually draw the face more like a manga character, like an anime character, right? And then we can have fun because we have all the information. We can use the hair or whatever we see here, and we can build on top of that, right? We can add some cute things, some of that. Un saludo a la gente de Perú. Saludo a la gente de Perú. So yeah, you see, you can make that drawing more like anime character instead of like the person that is there. Or you can make it your own. You can make it your own character. 自分のキャラクターも描けることができます. You can also draw your own character on top of this. Right? Doesn't have to be what we see here. Because these clothes are kind of complicated. I'm trying to understand. If you know the character, if you know the clothes, I will probably bring some references for these characters so I understand what is the clothes doing, right? Sometimes it's kind of hard to see what's happening. Obviously, we can add a little bit of our own touch to this, and then probably add some breast. I think. Yeah. Maybe add some whatever here. Her skirt gonna go from the bottom. Yeah, this is not an easy one, eh? Oh, thank you, Akali, for the 50 ARS, which is like Argentinian dollars. I don't know. Yeah, I speak a little bit of Japanese. Nihongo da. Choto dake. Eh? So now we can have fun adding the rest of this. I don't know if probably the pose is gonna start changing pretty soon. But we have to also take these more challenging poses and try them. It's definitely a big challenge that we need to like take on drawing the hands and figure out all that is happening in there. It's not easy. It's not easy, but it will pay off. Draw easy poses and then draw difficult ones. And if you make mistakes and if it doesn't work on the difficult ones, well, that's why it's difficult. That's why it's difficult, and that's why you challenge yourself to do some more difficult ones. Okay, something like that. We have the hands. The hands, I probably need to zoom into the pictures. They're pretty hard to tell, but I'm gonna try to create it from imagination and from whatever I see here. Right? Yeah, well, passing the power of drawing, not only juicy girls, but drawing anything you want to draw, actually. Any characters or whatever. I think this is what we want to learn, right? We want to learn and build all of these. I'm proud of this hand. Came out pretty good. Yeah. I don't know this character, to be honest. I just like the pose. But we can, I don't know, make it cute. Something. Make it cute. Maybe the torso. Oh, I changed the pose change. But anyway, something like that. I mean, we can keep going, but again, like I said, this is a difficult pose. But it's challenging. I like how it's coming together. I like how everything is fitting together. And like I said before, I like to probably design my silhouette. Make sure that it's reading. I like to go with a thicker, darker line. Just to define the silhouette. Make it stand out more. Get those angles right. So this is a practice for me. I'm teaching this, but I'm also practicing. This is a challenging pose, but once I do this, and if I do it a couple of times, I'm gonna remember. I'm gonna draw. I'm gonna bring something to my own drawings at the end. Okay. Whew. So we're almost reaching the 2 hours, guys. Wow. You see, this is like a training. I feel like I'm training like Goku. Training like Goku. Okay, so you guys are like, oh man, that perspective. It's not that difficult. It's not difficult perspective. It looks difficult. Again, I'll explain. No, I will look for the tilt of the shoulder first, and then I'm gonna try to feel that silhouette, gesture of the torso coming this way, right? So we have that silhouette, we have the shoulder, and then we have this silhouette here, right? That's probably the first thing I want to draw. Then I'm gonna follow the head, and then I see that the gesture is this line, and then these lines here. So it's about comparing and also reading the silhouette, right? Also, as I explained before, probably the space from the top of the torso is shorter, and the torso from here down, it will be like probably like 1, 2, like probably like 3 times bigger. Kawaii kata desu ka? Majikai motomaka kawaii character kakimasu. So we have this, and also like I like to construct this with straight lines. I wouldn't go and draw specific, but at the same time I'm gonna try to break down the silhouette. And like, look at that shoe. It's huge, humongous. It's humongous, right? And we have the big shoe, and then we have the smaller shoe, right? Center line, the horizon line is tilted to the side. That's why it looks more intense. We have the shoulder, we have the arm supporting the weight on this leg. So the supporting leg is this one, right? Supporting the weight is this leg here. And then we have the other arm, and the other arm goes with this motion, right? It's going up, so it's kind of following that gesture. Sometimes we can connect the gesture with other parts of the limbs, right? We go with the gesture of the leg going down, and then we have that, and then we have the shape of whatever she's wearing, scarf or. But we have to measure where is it landing, where does it reach, right? Kind of like close to the knee, and then we have the hands, and we can carve a little bit that pose with the silhouette, right? We have the silhouette there, and we have the silhouette here. So think about that. Think about the graphic shape and also construct some gesture. That's where the practice comes. When you practice the gesture construction and graphic shapes and silhouettes, that's the training. That's what I'm doing. I'm combining all that to solve this drawing. If I was building everything with the rib cage, and it will take me a long time. I have done it, and I had to do it. But now I'm kind of more comfortable. And for the shoe, shoes like this, it's pretty chunky. I think about the design of the shoe. Pretty as big like this, right? Don't forget the graphic shape. The comparison that this shoe is so big, and this other one is kind of small there. It's just also the camera. But we have it solved. And something to look here that I like to point out is like how the gesture comes from. I'm gonna use the thickest line, so it goes from here all the way up, and it kind of like connects, right? You see that? How it connects and aligns. Basically, that's the word. It connects, right? It connects the whole. It connects with the torso and it connects with the head, so we can see those lines later. Also, the hand connects with the other hand, so we start seeing those angles and those sharp edges, and we can start building from there, right? I hope you guys not getting bored with my explanation. I swear I'm gonna make a fun stream for the future, so you guys have a lot of fun, right? We can do more questions and draw silly stuff, but I want to add this here because I know you guys have been asking me for more lessons to draw, to practice while during the week, right? So once I have this, I'm probably gonna go here and add a little bit of the face, just to do it, leave it on the sketch like that. Just whatever, nothing too pretty, but look at the jaw, look at the suit, look at the top that she has, right? Look how it wraps around in this direction, right? I don't want to do like a straight line. It has to like wrap around the torso and around the belly, and that will sell that nice foreshortening too. I'm gonna reduce the opacity, and now we can have fun. But all that comparison, all that graphic shape and all that stuff, it helps us. It helps us to now draw with more fun, having more fun, adding more specifics, and be a little bit more loose. So that's what I'm doing now, right? Even though I don't see the shoulder, I know the shoulder is higher, right? I don't see the shoulder, but that's the anatomy of the body. And I add the breast and add the line, so we can start just having fun just drawing this. At the end, I will probably add the scarf. Scarf is in the middle. It doesn't help me. So all the stuff that is in front, I'll try to avoid it until the very end. That will be the last touches for the drawing, right? So don't worry about that, and bring that center line again. Why not? Bring the center line and then start adding the rest of the body and the rest of the elements. Toca, 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 toca. So, yes, I mean, this stuff takes time, and takes time, but it is fun because unlike this is like a sister is helping you. to learn, and then later you can do your own drawings. Something that happens a lot is artists that just want to jump on their final illustration, right? It's like if you were like a basketball player, and I think in this analogy I said last time, it's like, oh, I just want to go to the game, right? I just want to play the game and win, right? I want to play the game and that's it. But if you don't go to practice, and if you don't practice, and then you like find some ways to see the enemy in this, or the adversary in this case is the other team. Sorry, in this case is the drawing that we're doing, or the final drawing that we're gonna do, right? So we need to actually, you know, do the hard part, which is practicing. You don't see that, right? You see the game and you, oh, so good, look at the game. That's our final illustration. People, oh man, that was an awesome illustration, amazing, like it looks so easy, like you make it look so easy, like yeah, right? Like Michael Jordan, right? Michael Jordan make it look so easy, jumping and doing all of that, and being the best of the best. But man, that guy worked hard. His skill was not like, oh, I was just born like this. Obviously he had like the competition, being competitive, right? So that's something that will drive you too. You know? If you want to be good at art, that's will be your competitive. You want to compete and be a good artist. So you gotta put the time. You gotta put the time and practice. Even when you don't want to go and do it, you gotta do it, right? Oh, the post change. I was having fun. Well, you guys can come back and complete it. I can try to do it on my own without a reference, right? Yeah, the thing is that it looks easy, but when you're actually doing it, when you're trying to solve this stuff, it's not as easy. I mean, that's the thing, right? You want to make people think that it's easy, but it's not easy. I'm doing very basic anime faces. I don't even know about this character, but I'm gonna add some glasses because those are cool, right? Some glasses. Merc. She's clever. She's know what she's doing. Oh, I'm getting low battery on my pen, which is okay. We're probably gonna be doing like another pose, and probably I should be going because I'm getting hungry, guys. You're not hungry? I'm getting a little bit hungry. And then the last pose, and I'm gonna answer some questions, and we can talk a little bit more after that. And just remember that the drawing, the video is gonna be up after the stream. I'm gonna be adding timestamps, so you guys can come back and listen to all the stuff that I talk about. Skip the unfunny parts and practice. Use this as a practice. I also have another video from the last week. That video got a lot of views, so I'm happy because that means you guys are watching it and you guys are practicing and you guys are doing your things. Here I'm making up the shoe. I don't know what was the shoe that she had, but I think it was kind of ugly. How many hours I draw a day? I don't know, man. I don't know, to be honest. Sometimes I draw a couple of hours. Sometimes I don't draw. I think last Monday I didn't draw anything. I was taking a break. But yeah, I don't have an amount of times. When I'm working on an illustration, I can do 8 hours, 10 hours. Sometimes I have done 14 hours. Those are the long days. And sometimes I just do a couple of practices and that's it. Sometimes I just fixing drawings. Yeah, this one is fun, right? And then at the end, I would like to add the scarf or whatever she was using, kind of like this, and the front I think it was, and then it falls like that. And if I want to sell more of the perspective and the foreshortening, I'm gonna push it a little bit more and add that kind of like, make sure that it gets bigger as it gets closer to the shoe, right? Just like that. And well, you can have some things to show that it's clothing. Yeah, and you guys can, yeah, I like to use this kind of poses for stuff like that. Like it can be like a sticker, like it has a nice silhouette, it's fun, right? And I'm gonna write 23 because she's like, we're talking about Michael Jordan. And I think she had like a nice, like a star, right? She had like a star in here, right? And also, guys, as extra news, yesterday I did the cover of my sketchbook volume 5. So I'm gonna have a sketchbook coming soon, a nice sketchbook. I'm working on it. I've been working on it during my streams on Twitch. So you guys make sure like check my newsletter. But the cover came out pretty good. I'm pretty proud of my cover. So it's gonna look nice. And I'm gonna be printing that probably by the end of the month, and then probably next month I can start like selling online, so you guys can have a copy. Yeah, the iPad Pro is always worth it, man. Always worth it. Oh my god, we got a super chat. We got a super chat. Let's see. Hey Ray, just wanted to say thanks. Oh, you don't know how much this means for a lot of us who are struggling to be doing live drawing sessions with our favorite artists. Not enough space to express how much awesome you are. Oh, thank you, me. Thanks a lot. Thank you for the kind message, man. Thank you to Kagetokik. Kagetokik. Thank you. I know, especially during these times, we cannot go out. There's a lot of things we cannot do. So having some kind of motivation is always good. This also motivates me to keep making new videos, you know. So it's like a motivating to each other at the same time. It's good. So, and I know many of you, we cannot go and do the things we want to do, like drawing or anything. Like I haven't been into a live drawing session like in like a whole year since the whole pandemic thing started. So yeah, gotta keep going and moving forward. Draw, put our minds in other things that we want to do. Keep motivating, because it's not easy to keep ourselves motivated all the time. Luckily, I have many of you guys who support my work and are on my Patreon and all the time supportive. So, and that gonna help me as well, because sometimes the days get pretty repetitive and boring, but this also helps. So yeah, that this is the post that I have for this drawing. Can I do the stream? Looking forward for watching the whole video. Yeah, please. Thank you very much, Eugene, Dream. You're always on the chat, so I appreciate it a lot too. Guys coming often and often, and to my live streams and everything. So it kind of, like I said, it keeps me motivated to teach. And also I'll be posting this on my Patreon and probably on my socials later on. I probably could add this on my Pinterest too, so you guys can see the drawing. But the process is there. And let's do the last post, and then we're gonna do some chatting, and then we're gonna go, because I need to eat food. Let's see, this one kind of complicated. I want something more easier. I'm lazy. This one is cool, nice, cool. We did that already. It's nice. It's a lot of movement stuff. Oh, thank you, man. Thank you. Because anyway, I have like a little bit of like 10% of my Apple Pencil. So yeah, so let's do this one. This one's gonna be the last one, and I like it because I haven't done this before. So I want to have that kind of nice. The gesture is fun. It's like shooting like woo, a lot of motion, and we can make this anything, right? As long as we have that gesture and we have the right angle and everything. Again, looking for that angle of the shoulder. Could be like a Spider-Man. It could be like a Spider-Wen, right? We can pull up a reference of a Spider-Wen, and for especially for the costume, and we can just draw her on top of this, right? Especially look at the, just also I want to maybe have some emphasis on how the shoulder is active. You know, it's actually lifting all the weight in motion. So, right? Forget the ear. It's important to find that ear, find that gesture of the neck. Right? Let's bring that down. So this definitely will be a nice Spider-Wen kind of drawing, right? And again, I try to find the torso, and then later I'm gonna draw the leg. I think I do the leg first, and actually it's kind of too high. And that's the thing, we have to. At least I try to not to draw whatever I see that is in front of us first. Try to draw what is in the back. So build that torso, build that, bring the other leg, find the knee, right? Find the knee. Look at that nice anatomy that comes from the back of the leg to the knee. Then the knee goes on top. You know, muscle is being active. Shooting there to all the way up. Feet. Get that gesture of the bone. Anatomy. Anatomia. 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 Right, we have that there. Don't forget, guys, to subscribe to the channel again. I know it can be annoying, but I will appreciate it. I know many of you guys already subscribe, so I'm already super thankful for that. And I've seen more people are joining the channel, and it's so good. It's good. So I also today I changed the banner of the channel, and I'm trying to improve all the videos, adding timestamps to all the videos, and so you guys can browse my tutorials again. I'm gonna be redoing some of those. Some of those are kind of cringy because I was like I was kind of young and I didn't care too much about presentations. So I was like, hey guys, this is my tutorial, bye. You know, and my English was not that good, still not the best to be honest, but at the time it was a mess. But at least I was trying to explain, right? So this is looking good, right? Get that energy there of the torso, of the head. Don't forget the hand wrapping here. Feet. Throw that there. Just like that. Maybe that's a little bit smaller. And probably we can like add some liberty here to the leg, and then probably rotate it a little bit more so it's a little bit more dramatic, and then warp it so it make it a little bit more thicker. You know? Oh, 5% battery on my pencil. Oh shoot! So I'm gonna try to be faster. Right? So we got this, we got that. Let's make a new layer. Reduce opacity. Right? Oh, thank you, man. Hey, thank you so for sharing the videos. I know these days the videos for tutorials should be like shorter, and so I'm gonna try to reduce the amount of like minutes in some of the videos. I'm gonna keep the longer ones, but I would like to make some shorter ones for people who are in a rush to learn. Don't have the time to spend it on the video, you know. And I also like probably more condensed information is good too. That's kind of the deal. In the past, it was like good to make those long ass tutorials because people will sit down. I know you guys still doing it. I'm not trying to say that you guys don't do, but I think the way YouTube have changed is like, oh, you can make the video quick. We don't have time to. We don't have time to learn. We want to learn now. Okay, right? Hopefully my pencil won't die, even though I charged it completely. And yeah, let's let's do Spider Gwen because I don't want to draw a face, right? And I don't know if that's the suit of Spider Gwen. So I know she has the hoodie, the hoodie. She has the hoodie who, right? Hoodie who, and then Shay here. Let's draw some pie, some breast, because it will help to sell us the perspective. Like this. I don't remember the suit. I know there's something like this, and then there's something like that. Like, I don't remember. That's why I need to pull like a reference of the suit, because I don't know the suit by memory. And I probably will like try to change the feet to make it more like dynamic and more fun, bigger maybe. She has the ballerina shoes, right? So probably want to see the front of the shoe, and then we have the legs. This is when I take some liberties, because like, maybe she might be thinner, and maybe she has a nicer and rounded. I just worry about the pencil. Come on, pencil, you can do it. Well, when the pencil die, the string stops. No, but I'm gonna answer some questions, and we're gonna replay the video of what we did today as I answer some questions, and then we're gonna go and eat some food and relax, and then maybe draw some more. You guys can keep drawing while I eat something, right? Also double check again that that anatomy, separation of the shoulder here. I think it was like this. I don't remember. Next time I'm probably gonna bring a Spider-Man. Yeah, Spider-Man got sexy Spider-Man, right? And the hand is not appealing, but I'm gonna like kind of like change the hand to like she just jumped something, and or maybe not. Maybe she's just actually grabbing something like this, right? Like a bar of some sort. Make sure that the hand is wrapping around. It's okay. I will go back later and just worry that the pencil just die on us, right? Yeah, guys, please draw. That's the thing. You draw with me, or you can watch the video again and draw together. And hey, wait, Spider-Gwen, doesn't she have like a hair or something? I think this is. Well, she has hair for sure. Is Spider-Wing. 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 Wing. Oh, okay. I see. Her eyes are not so 90 Spider-Man. They are more sharp. Yeah, they're more sharp like this. Sharper. And then she has the costume is like this. You see, we learned something new. Although I have drawn her before, but I don't remember the suit completely. And then also she has like all these lines. This is open like a diamond shape, and then she has all the lines here, right? Something like that. And then she has, oh, the rest is just black. All right, it's not bad. So yeah. Oh well, we changed the pose, right? But this was supposed to be the last pose of the string. So if you guys want, you can continue drawing that one. I'm gonna save it for the next string for sure. So because I also like that pose. That's why all the poses that I'm picking is because I wanted to draw at some time. So we are practicing together whatever we have to practice, you know. Also, my pencil might die pretty soon. My Apple pencil, right? Like that. And here she has that ding ding ding. She has that web, spider web coming along here. Right? So that's how like we can turn a pose into whatever character, and it should work well, right? So yeah. Well guys, if you have any questions, please let me know. This is the time. And I'm sure my pen is gonna die pretty soon. So feel free to ask some questions. I'm gonna replay what we did today to see what was the process. I'm glad that the iPad has that feature so we can replay whatever we did. And let's see what happened, right? Yeah, I'm glad you guys feeling you learn a lot. I'm gonna replay. Let's turn this way so we have more space on the screen. So let's see what we did. We go here to time lapse. So let's go, and then we're gonna do that from the beginning. These are the drawings that I did to warm up first. I was on my bed doing this. Which anatomy books do you recommend? I'm gonna make a post on my website. I have a bunch of books, and I already took some photos. Oh, well, actually, no. I'm gonna take some photos of the book, and then I'm gonna add them on my website so you guys can see the list. Some of them are really hard to find, but they're really good. Oh wow. Okay. Look at the iPad. It just went to sleep. Beautiful. Oh. Well, there you go. The iPad just decided to go to. It went away. iPad. Well, I guess he didn't want to do that. So anyway, my iPad is just it died. But I would like to thank you guys for this. I haven't worked in animation. I thought about doing some animations for sure, but no. What source for reference? Pinterest. You can check my Pinterest. I have a Pinterest with the poses that we're using, and I also have other poses on my profile that you can check. You guys can make sure to come back to the video, add a like, make sure to follow as well. You see the iPad just decided to sleep, right? No, I mean the iPad is hungry too, right? iPad is hungry, ne? iPad to ga naka suite iru desu. Oh, we cannot show this on the screen. This is my password. Ne. So yeah, guys. Come on, Procreate. There you go. Procreate is back. So these are the things that we did. Yeah, it's always good for you guys who are coming and doing all of this stuff. Make sure to check the links down below. I'm gonna be all the links are there. You can go to my YouTube. You can go around. You can check the rest of the tutorials that I've been improving. Make sure to check the store. I have some goodies over there, some good stuff, and I'll be seeing you for sure next time. I just wanted to actually replay this to have it on the video as a proof that we did this, right? And I'm gonna go a little bit faster because yeah, this is the first one that we did. Oh shit, right. It's not. Ciotomate. Ciotomate. Screaming. Okay, now it's on the screen. Oopsie. That happened, right? So we build the drawing and we went for the second one. You can see a replay for this. I think it's good. I wanted to leave it on the video because I know some people might want to look at the whole process in a faster way, like speed up version of it. So they maybe, I don't know. I think it's good just to have it there, right? So yeah, all these poses, and some of them were a little bit hard, some of them were a little bit easier. So I hope you guys also learn things. If you have doubts about anatomy and construction of the torso or the legs or the head, and I have the tutorials, I'm gonna be probably doing a tutorial, or not tutorial, a whole a string just drawing heads, drawing heads with like regular proportions and then doing some crazy proportions. And caricatures too. I think a lot of people will learn a lot from that, and also it's gonna be a great practice because this is gonna be a good practice for me as well. Okay, so yeah, so we did this. It was fun. It was like interesting. All the gestures, all the poses, drawing on top of the drawings. This one was also fun. I will probably revise this and check it out. This one was cool, and then we took a break. And then we did another one. This one was good. Good. Right? And the next one as well. Gesture. Drawing. More action. Action. And crazy perspective. And the drawing is ready. And then we did spider web. And it's done. Alright. Thank you very much. I usually like to write down here. Oh, my pencil. Everything died. Wow. Everything died. So, thank you with my finger. Thanks for watching. And make sure to check my Twitch, because there we chill. And actually I have a few videos already. Thanks for watching. Also keep drawing and keep getting better with your work, and I'll see you next time. Bye. Matre, arigatou gozaimashita. See you next time. Adiós. Nos vemos, tío. Chao. Yane.